that everyone is doing really well, and thank you so much to those of you who are able to join us on the live. A little reminder, please, if possible, can you just turn off any bright overhead lights that you may have on in the room, just to signal your nervous system to start to wind down. If it's possible for you to do that, that would be really good. And of course, if you can ensure that everything's on silent, and as much as you can ensure that you won't be disturbed, that would be lovely. Okay, so we have got a really lovely session planned this evening with a few beautiful vagal resets right up the top of the session. So we're going to begin, please, just in a comfortable upright seat. This first technique is one of Stanley Rosenberg's salamander resets. Now, essentially, a salamander reset is any vagal reset where you have got a different position of the head and neck relative to where the eyes are going to go. It sounds very technical, but I assure you that it's actually very simple. And what these techniques do is create a little bit of tensioning in that 10th cranial nerve and elicit that beautiful vagal tone, which is just going to signal the nervous system to drop down and help us to arrive after what may have been a very busy day. So from your upright seat, I'm going to ask you, please, to just ensure that your spine feels nice and long. And we're going to turn the chest and shoulders to the left. So just take a turn to the left of the chest and shoulders. Good. And now I'll ask you to very gently turn your head to the right. We're not looking for a strong muscular tensioning. We're just feeling that the chest and shoulders are turned one way and the head and neck are turned the other way. And now keeping your head turned to the right and keeping the skull very still, please lift just your eye gaze up and to the left and hold it there, breathing slowly, keeping the eyes just gently looking up and to the left. If you find that your eyes keep wanting to come out of that position, just gently guide them back, and we'll hold it here and hold and hold and hold. And now relax your eyes, release your head, and then let the chest and shoulders come back to center. Taking the chest and shoulders over to the right now, and then turning your head just a few degrees to the left. Again, no neck strain, no tension, and keeping your skull very still. Please take your eye gaze up and to the right. And just hold it there. You don't need to be staring too harshly or intently. Just feel that the eyes are looking up and to the right. And if they're protesting, just gently guide them back up and to the right and hold. And hold. And hold. Good. Release the eyes. Release the head. And now release the shoulders, maybe giving your shoulders a little bit of a shrug. Please don't be surprised if your eyes are feeling a little bit watery, or you may feel the urge to yawn or sigh. That's all a really good sign if that is your experience. And now from your own best steady upright seat, we're going to take a few rounds of our reset breath. This evening, we're going to include a vocalization on the exhale with a little sigh as we exhale. So the pattern will look like this. One big inhale through the nose, second top up inhale through the nose, and a slow sigh As you exhale. So when you're ready, please join along with me. Big nasal inhale. Top that up and out with a sigh. Good. Again, big nasal inhale once. Take your second top up inhale. And now exhale with a sigh. Again, big nasal inhale. Second top up inhale. And exhaling with a sigh. Please take 2 more rounds of that reset breath with a sigh to exhale in your own time. If you sense any background anxiety or you've had an especially stressful day, you might like to take a few more rounds of that reset button. Otherwise, when you're ready, please feel free to just come to establish yourself again in that beautiful, steady, upright seat. If you're sitting in a chair, please make sure that your feet are flat on the floor and feeling that you've got good support for the spine and that the seat that you have chosen is one that you'll be able to maintain for some time. If you're comfortable to close down your eyes now, please do. Otherwise, you're welcome to just keep your eyelids down at half mast and keep the eyes gently directed down toward the nose, bringing your tongue to rest gently up against the roof of your mouth, especially the back of the tongue, and allow the jaw to soften. And come to meet your breath, moving your breath very slowly and very smoothly in and out through the nose. Calling all of your attention to the rhythm of your breath. Allowing your belly and your rib cage to move freely. And perhaps noticing the movement of the air within the channels of the nostrils. The cool air entering the nose and the slightly warmer air leaving the nostrils. Can you soften through the face and shoulders just a little bit more? And allow the borders of the breath, the edges of each inhale and each exhale to brush very gently up against one another before the tide of the breath turns. When you are ready, please begin to very gently hug your windpipe toward the back of the throat. in exactly the same way as you would if you were fogging up a mirror, but keeping the breath moving through the nostrils. It's a very subtle and sweet hug of the windpipe. No tension or strain. Allowing this very subtle resistance in your airway to lend your breath some texture and tone. Listening intently to the sound that the breath takes on. The sound of the ujjayi has been compared to the sound of the waves breaking on the shore. You might like to imagine the exhalation as the wave breaking on the sand. The inhalation as the wave being reclaimed back into the ocean. Can you allow yourself to settle here? With full attention. Just this breath. Just this moment. Creating a smooth and velvety sound and sensation in the breath. Invite yourself to become aware of how the gentle resistance in the airway gives you control over the speed of the breath. Invite yourself to slow the breath down. And become curious as to the different quality of the inhale versus the exhale. The rising, swelling ascendancy of the inhalation and the soothing, grounding drop down of the exhalation. Stay with this. And now that you are settled, please begin to notice how long your inhalations are this evening, counting a few consecutive rounds of breath. And once you have ascertained how long your inhale is this evening, please bring your exhalation up to match, settling into our Samavritti 1 cadence, a steady and even inhale and exhale. The tongue rests against the roof of the mouth. The eyes gently gazing down toward the nose. The smooth, velvety tone and texture of your breath. The steady, even metronome of your count. Keep your mind anchored in the count and allow your physical senses to be engaged in the felt experience of the breath. Please begin to stretch your exhalations out to twice their current length. The challenge is always on the longer side of the breath. Can you continue to use that gentle hug of your windpipe to help you slow the exhalation down? No tension or strain. And if you sense that the double length exhale is beyond your comfortable capacity, please shave off 2 counts. Tongue rests against the roof of the mouth. The eyes gazing gently down toward the nose. The gentle hug of the windpipe the soothing sound of the breath. Stay with the count. And if your mind wanders, gently and lovingly invite yourself back. At the end of your next exhalation, letting go of that technique, letting go of the count. Allow your breath to return to its natural, quiet state. And simply sit. And occupy the space that you have created. Listening intently to the sounds that surround you. The small sounds from within your internal landscape. And the sounds of the room and the household. Witnessing the moment from the perspective of the sense of listening. If you feel the need to adjust your seat, please take a moment to do that now. Our feature technique this evening is a breathing ratio of 4, 5, 6. We will be building on this as the month progresses, but just to get a few technical details out of the way so that we can settle into this pattern. When we breathe in a ratio where there is a longer exhale or a pause after the exhale, we are encouraging the buildup of carbon dioxide in the bloodstream. Carbon dioxide is a very misunderstood molecule, and it's often thought of as a toxic byproduct of metabolism that we want to blow off as much as possible. But in reality, our body's ability to absorb oxygen depends on having the correct amount of carbon dioxide in the blood to signal the hemoglobin in our blood to offload the oxygen. So it's a sweet irony. If we don't have enough CO2, then our bodies don't absorb the O2. Carbon dioxide is affiliated with apana vayu in the pranayama tradition. And from a purely physiological standpoint, carbon dioxide is a very relaxatory molecule. It signals our capillaries, our blood vessels to dilate. So it actually helps to ensure that we've got good cardiovascular health, and is really assists with issues like high blood pressure, asthma, and insomnia. Most of us are very intolerant to CO2, whether we're aware of it or not. And so occasionally when we're working with these techniques, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. One of the psychological benefits to these kind of breathing ratios is that it teaches us to occupy a space of mild discomfort, and in that way just gives us more sense of agency in our broader lives. So we're starting off this evening with the 4-5-6. I know that's very creatively named, but it does help us to remember our count. We'll be inhaling for a 4 count using that ujjayi technique. When you use the ujjayi, you're able to draw the inhale down deep into the lungs. So we're really maximizing our gas exchange potential. And then we'll pause without tension for 5 counts and exhale using the ujjayi for 6 counts. Most of us have a tendency with the breath to really rush the first part of the inhale and or the first part of the exhale. So this is a reminder just to use that little valve-like mechanism in the throat to help you really slow down the first part of the inhale and the exhale. That's quite enough of my yammering. Let's get settled again. So just coming to find your upright seat. Closing down the eyes if you're comfortable to do so. Settling the tongue to rest up against the roof of the mouth. The eye gaze down toward the nose. And come back into your ujjayi breath. That soft, sweet hug of the windpipe. And allowing your breath to come back into that beautiful tonal and textural space. Shining the spotlight of your awareness on the breath. Watching and listening. Curious as to the sensations of the breath. Exhale. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allow your breath to return to its natural, quiet state and simply observe the space that you are inhabiting. Soften the shoulders. Relax the jaw. And take your time to move carefully to arrive on your back for your Shavasana. Moving in a way that creates the least disruption. Please feel free to prop yourself in whatever way feels good, perhaps with a cushion beneath the knees. And as you arrive on your back, please turn the palms of your hands to face the ceiling, encouraging a sense of broadness across the chest and collarbones. This evening, as we rest in our Shavasana, we will be working with our Samavriti 2 pattern, our box breathing pattern. I will guide you through the first few rounds before handing it over to you to manage the count on your own. You might hear the count in your internal voice, or perhaps see the numbers flash up in your mind's eye. Make sure that you are comfortable. Come back into the breath. And perhaps noticing the contact points of your rib cage against the floor. We start always with an exhalation. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please continue on your own. Keep your mind anchored in the count and wait for the sound of my voice to summon you back. At the end of your next exhale, letting go of that pattern. Invite some gentle movements into your fingers and your toes. And rotate into your wrists and ankles. You might like to gently swallow to lubricate the throat. And have a gentle yawn and a stretch. Please stretch your right arm out alongside your head. If you have low blood pressure, then stretch the left arm out instead. Rolling onto your right hand side if your right arm is out. Allow your ear to just come to rest on the inseam of the arm, letting gravity embrace the weight of your body and help to gently curl you into an upright seat. As you arrive in your seat, remaining for just a moment with your eyes closed and your attention directed inwards. Taking a moment to observe how you have arrived here at the end of your practice and at the end of your day. Gently floating your palms to meet one another in front of your heart, or if you prefer, just land one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. But punctuating the end of our practice with gratitude and acknowledgement as we extend our thanks for the gift of this day, our lives and our health. And as we offer our respects and acknowledgements to one another, to this shared experience, and to the custodians of this living tradition. As always, dear friends, my sincere respect and gratitude to you all. Thank you for your company and your energy. I hope that you are able to have a restful evening, if possible, without any intrusion from screens or blue light. Read a book, have a bath, have a cuddle. Thank you, my loves. Lots of love. I'll see you all again soon. If you've got any questions, please let me know. Sleep well. Mwah. Good night.